What up, everybody? Is this week 122?
The Homos, That's Okay. And it's coming from our friend Cabana Black's album, Death to Mindless Music. All
Oh,
right. Now, Aaron Mack has had an admittedly long road to self-love. Okay. And Aaron's question is, what steps would you recommend to help someone out who may not yet love the reflection they see in the mirror? And what if they don't like their reflection due to a physical change, hair loss, or a medical diagnosis taking its toll on their body? And the order for this topic will go back to Differently Capable, Chrissy, Graffiti Blue, Cabana Black. And I'm turning off the live now.
okay. So, what was the first question? Because I want to get this right.
All right. So, what steps would you recommend to help someone out who may not yet love the reflection they see in the mirror?
Okay. Well, to be honest, there is not no specific steps because everyone's different. Not everybody learned to love themselves from early stages. A lot of people learn to love themselves in very late stages. Perfect examples is when, let's say, the trans community. There's a lot of people in the trans community who don't learn to love themselves after many years. They have got married, gotten kids, and almost in their 50s, and don't figure out to love themselves until they find out who they truly are. For me, I would say that just study everything around you, study yourself, and make sure that mentally you're looking for stability. Understand that sometimes it gets rough, but there's always going to be someone that can help you and lift you up. There's there's one thing that people forget is that they don't have to do it by themselves. They don't have to learn to do something by themselves. There's always someone that can help them to understand the path that they gotta go through to love and be who they are. Um, Again, I really want to say steps. I think is more of understanding that yeah, things get rough, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and never go through that tunnel by yourself.
That's a good answer.
I 100% agree with that. I will elaborate on it when it is my turn, but I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. My answer is quite the opposite. Because I turn to solitude quite a bit. I go inward quite a bit. And loving yourself is definitely an inward journey. It's not something. It's an inward spiritual journey. It's not something that you should ever reach outside of you for, in my opinion, in my experience. Um, Somebody who's struggling with that, any steps you would take, the first step is get with yourself. Get honest with yourself. If you're confused about things that you like or don't like or want or don't want, or a path or whatever type of journey you want to take, um, definitely then would I say to seek some type of help or support. But you learn a lot of those things in solitude. well, personally, I have learned a lot of those things in solitude. Somebody who struggles with that, or if things were to change physically, I mean, if we're blessed, we're all gonna age, we're all gonna get older, things are going to change. Youth isn't gonna be in our, you know, in within our reach forever. I mean, that's another thing that's like a mindset is thing as well. In addition to how you treat yourself, you know, what you put into your body, what you put into your temple, so to speak. Let me see. Let me look at the question. What if they don't like the reflection due to a physical change, hair loss, or medical diagnosis taking their toll? That's an honest reaction to that change. I mean, if a person doesn't like that these changes, these physical changes has happened, that's just an honest. You don't have to like it. You know, you don't have to like it. You don't have to be happy with it, but you do have to learn how to accept it. And you have to learn how acceptance is a huge part of self-love. You know, it's hard to accept changes that are I don't want to use a heavy word. I really don't. That are you know, not something you can do anything about, or it just takes a lot of medical a lot of you know, medication, a lot of type of treatment, or you know, a lot of steps to make a change. Sometimes acceptance is the best form of love that you can give yourself. You know, just accept that this is what it is and make sure that you do whatever you can to enjoy every moment with what you have, because you know, that's a reality. You know, and it's not that it's not that a change is going to even, it may help it ideally, but it may not. You just gotta accept, you know. I mean, that's tough for me because I deal with something that I don't share with anyone, and unless, you know, I feel like I can really trust, unless I'm really close to somebody that I know that's not gonna ridicule me and put me down for it, or you know, make it seem like such a negative thing. It's not a negative thing if you have limitations, or if you have a change because of a medical reason, or you know, hair loss. That's superficial. I'll, you know, in support of a friend of mine, I'll shave my head if they lose their hair to cancer. It's hair. You know, dead cells, they're dead already. You know, they just happen to grow, you know. But somebody struggling, what is that step? First of all, you have to accept yourself. Have to get with yourself. You know? And that's sometimes hard to do. That's really hard. That's tough. Especially if you've had in your lifetime people telling you that you're less than, or people saying or alluding to the fact that in their opinion you're less than the ideal or the standard of what should be accepted.
Indeed, I again, I agree, and of course, as I did before, I'm not going to give too much of a different lens on this one. I'm just going to elaborate on some of the things that you said, Christine, and something that you said initially, differently capable. Originally, you said that one should not go on this journey alone. and might not be getting your words exactly right. And I do agree. Loving yourself is a daily exercise, people. And I do not believe that there is one point in which you arrive. Okay, if you love yourself today, you might beat yourself up tomorrow over whatever it is you might what comes into your mind. And I believe a lot of the reason for that is A, the human ego, B, all of the images that we're bombarded with on a daily basis. You know what I mean? People's perception of beauty, status, and all of the other frequencies that bombard our personal space inside a 24-hour day. You know what I mean? It could start by how you wake up. You know what I mean? If you wake up and you jump to the phone or you jump on the computer or jump to your tablet, social media, maybe somebody is in your house that is vibrating at a low frequency, and they tend to kill your spirit a little bit, kill your joy a little bit. That might start the momentum to your thoughts not coming from a higher place and your thoughts coming from a lower place, and begin that momentum to make it harder for you to love yourself inside of that. Now, what Christine was talking about was, I believe, I'm paraphrasing. I didn't write the quote down, but she was alluding to that self-love is a journey you have to take and you have to go inside. I agree with that. But I also agree with my man that spoke first, because he said you shouldn't do it alone. Christine, I believe, and I look inside myself too, I'm not disagreeing with you, but at some point along the line, you learned how to look inside yourself. Maybe this came from your parents, maybe this came from somebody else. My parents taught me personally how to look inside myself because I spent a lot of my youth in solitude. My mother knew back then that to develop my creativity, to surround me with a whole bunch of creative things and just leave me in the room by myself, and developed my imagination. She saw something in me, and here I go, so many years later, so many decades later, you know, I write books and I do all kinds of poetic stuff, and I'm this big creative guy. However, because I had a lot of false notions on what success was, and I had a lot of people around me that were not in my best interest, and if they tell you